G'day, folks. Welcome back to another Beaver 42 episode. How are you, Beaver?
Good, buddy. You? How's your
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah, not bad. None of the results went the way I wanted at all. Couldn't even get one of them. But anyway, we'll go through those now.
Yeah.
The penultimate round, some really key matchups and a few strange results. So start off with the which was a big game, playing for the 8th spot. Knights 15 with a late field goal over the Titans 14.
Yeah, look, a bit disappointing for the Tits. Knights getting up in the end with the last minute field goal. I really thought he shouldn't have charged that ball down with a minute and a half to go or whatever it was, right? And I think it was Clifford taking the shot from 40 out. So I'm thinking he's going to miss it. Don't give him a double chance. But unfortunately, it was the case. Tits still survive another day, barely, to this week.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is only one team really had a clue about how to finish a game, and it wasn't the Titans. Yeah. And I'm still so frustrated with Fafita's involvement. I know he came off the bench late, but he just sits out in the centres. I want him to grab the ball and just mix it up in the ruck. Just get involved, mate.
So, yeah, I was a bit disappointed with the way he reacted after he scored that try too, right? Mouthed into the camera. He was obviously pissed at coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. But you're coming off the bench because you don't have the impact that you should have, right? So lazy $1 million player at the moment. That boy.
Well, yeah. Well, at least we're getting rid of one of them at the end of the season, so we should only have one after that. Another big game, which I was hoping went the other way, and it looked like it might have at one stage. Warriors went down 16 to the Raiders 28, and the Warriors had the lead.
Yeah, look, I thought the same. I thought the Warriors were going to get it. But in the end, a couple of late tries to the Raiders, and in the end, the scoreline looks a bit worse than what the competitiveness was of the game. I think, right? So, a bit disappointing for the Warriors, but well done to the Raiders.
Yeah, it was an important game for the Raiders if they were any sniff. And look, the game really changed when Townsend had to go off with the sore shoulder. He was controlling it up until that stage. So, look forward to see what he can bring to the Cowboys next year. And then the talking point of the week, the Roosters 12, Rabbits 54. And there's really only one story from this match.
Yeah, well, Latrell went just, right, and smashed Joey Manu, right? So, look, in the end, Rabbits way too good, right? But Latrell shouldn't have been on the field. And does that change the game? How does that change the game? Probably doesn't change the result, right? But he stepped over the edge, the boy.
Yeah, no doubt. And it absolutely threw the Roosters for a loop, because I think the Rabbits scored 34 points in the last 25 minutes or something absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it was only a try to win it up until that point, and JWH, angry human. Latrell very wise to run away from that confrontation. Dragons 26 went down to the Cowboys 38. Another game where the team that had the lead at halftime went down.
Yeah, the Dragons very disappointing in the second half. Good lead at halftime. To think that these two teams put on a 64-point scoreathon just defies logic, because I didn't think the Dragons had 26 points in them, to be honest. Look, Dragons disappointing, but I will say that Mikhaili Ravalawa out on the wing, that boy scored a couple of tries and also put on a couple of shots that were just amazing, right? So when he ran down, I think it was Hampton, and he had no idea he was coming from behind. It was like getting eaten by a shark, right? So anyway, Dragon season's over. Pass the beer nuts.
Yeah, no, that was pretty impressive. And Ravalawa is definitely not a young kid, I don't believe, but both teams have got pretty good stock of some young kids coming through. That forward pack, mostly of the Cowboys, are all 2021. And I know a lot of the backs for the Dragons are all young. So maybe brighter days ahead. Sharks 24, Broncos 16. Another close game, but two sin bins, just too much for the Broncos.
Yeah. I mean, Flegler went a bit crazy with his shot. I think it was No, it was Bullymore with the shot over the top. Yeah, look, in the end, Sharks got the chocolates, but not exactly premiership material.
No. No, look, anyone who gets into that 8th spot, yeah, maybe barring the Dragons, maybe barring the Raiders, sorry, any sort of sniff. But yeah, look, Sharks probably now favourites to get that 8th spot. Especially now the Storm, 10 v Eels 22. I think that stunned everybody.
Yeah, it did. And, before the game, $9 you could have got on Parramatta, which is just ridiculous for a first versus sixth matchup, right? And, from the beginning, the Eels, they had some swag about them, right? They looked like they were playing with confidence. Moses was fantastic. Dylan Brown, he hasn't played a decent game all season, and he was just spectacular, right? So they were chasing down, tries. They just worked hard as a unit, right? So just got to wonder whether they've just got that edge of belief now that they can do something, right? So last week I thought they were just cannon fodder and they drop out in the first round to Newcastle, but now I kind of wonder whether they feel like they could jag a game or two.
Well, you have to think so based on that effort. Yeah. And yeah, speaking of Brown, I think he's super lucky to escape any suspension this week. Well, I don't know if he has yet or not, but he got the wrap around the head with a tap, but his point of the shoulder absolutely got Eisenhuth in the chin. And you could see his eyes roll back in the back of his head when he made that contact. But anyway, nothing of it, play on. Manly 36, Dogs 18. Now, I honestly thought Manly were going to put 50 on
them. The Dogs tried hard, right? They were into that game right up until that point that Tommy Turbo scored that try that wasn't a try, right? So great desperation by Hetherington. And, look, it probably didn't change the outcome of the game, but, it would have been nice to have seen them still in it for another 10 plus minutes at least, right? So in the end, 2 tries in the last 10 minutes to Manly basically, made the game a blowout, right? But Dogs stood up and it was good to see.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Dogs played really well. And it's funny you mentioned you don't think it made an impact on the game. I always wonder, the team that was supposed to win won. But at that very point in time, that was huge. The Dogs were up for it. And who knows if they could have gone on for another 20 minutes playing well. So, and just a horrible call. Even the commentators were like, no try, no try. It just flabbergasts me how everyone sees it one way except for the bunker. But anyway, Panthers 30, Tigers 16. Another game that I thought was a bit closer than it should have been.
Yeah, it was a bit closer. How good was Cleary? That boy, when he put those couple of, he's just kicked the crap out of the ball towards the posts, right? Yeah. That kind of spiral rubber kick, both of them off the post. One for Spencer Lino to score a try, I think it was, right? Or was it Moses Leota? I can't remember who scored it, but he's just in phenomenal form, right? And Panthers getting a few back. They're ready to prime.
Yeah, they're hitting their straps at exactly the right time. And just on those kicks, he was dead set aiming for those posts, but he also had that banana bend on it. But if it missed the post, it was going to just go into that.
Correct.
So either way, it was a great kick. So, and look, impressed with TPJ's first game back too. He looks money and he's going to help them go a long way postseason.
Absolutely.
So speaking of postseason, quick look at the ladder here for the upcoming final round. What do you got for me, mate? There's not much really to talk about except maybe the bottom 8, 9, and 10 spots.
Yeah, well, that's it now, right? I mean, everyone else is pretty much locked in. Top 4 still a question mark if Manly lose to the Cowboys, which you just cannot see happening. Yeah. So it's down to those final 3 teams for that 8th spot. Sharks and Raiders got tucked against the Storm and the Roosters. Titans should get over the Warriors. We've got nothing to play for, right? So, there's nothing better than coming down to the last round, right? Hopefully it comes down to that Sunday, and when the Tits are playing, and they've got a chance to still make it, right? So, let's see.
Yeah, I'll be cheering for one more week at least. Anyway, there's got to be a bit of belief. So, all right, buddy. Thanks for that. We'll talk to you soon about round 25. Thanks, mate.
All right, take care. Enjoy the footy.